everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we have left the lasses behind. Today, the ladies decided that they wanted a break, and they will carry on next week with something about finger facts of the dance. So, yeah, I think it's, okay, I can't say anything bad. It's a family-friendly show, so I'll just stick to this one. But hello, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. For those who are watching live, welcome. Thank you very much. 5 o'clock in Cambodia, 12 o'clock in South Africa. And normal duties, please.
Hit the thumb.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe will be very, very much appreciated. So, yeah, this week the guys are left behind or left. What we were supposed to do is what we're not going to do, because except for Divan, we've had to eat
Fruits,
a
like
balanced,
bats.
freaking like rabbits, munch on green leaves, one fruit, one vegetable, and like soup and things like that. And we're not allowed carbs and stuff. So we've had to postpone the beer program. So we will still be bringing you the beer one, but unfortunately today we are not allowed to beer on TV with it. So we are bringing you a little bit more about what Phnom Penh in Cambodia used to be like to compare to what it is like today. But once again, first of all, like and subscribe. And yeah, share this video, because that's the only way we get our views and news around the place and that as well. Also, watch this video a couple of times over.
Please.
You might have missed something out. And the women are convinced that they got more views than us. Please help us to help you to prove them wrong. Help us help you.
That's a teacher's job to help.
There we go. There we go. It's always good. But yeah, please like and subscribe. Share this video far and wide. Thank you very much to everybody who's watching live, to everybody who's watching the rerun. Thank you very, very much. To Niels, Divan, and myself, who will be watching this rerun a couple of times to get views up. Thank you very much. But yes, Motley Mix is a little bit of fun about everything and anything. We're trying to do a lot on what's happened in Cambodia, what's happening in Cambodia, different places and things and history and sometimes traditions and that. So yeah, what's Ilandi got? Divan, who is cheating party now?
Stole you.
We're not cheating.
We're just asking.
We're begging. So yes. If you have anything that is really good, that would be anything of interest, a hobby, anything that you do, something you like to do, maybe you just like to chat to us, to talk to us, chat about something. Doesn't have to be about Cambodia, doesn't have to be about South Africa, can be anything, anywhere in the world, can be any topic, can be a hobby, anything like that. Please drop us a mail at motlymix2020@gmail.com, and we would be most grateful to accommodate you on the show, to have you on the show, or if you don't want to be on the show, to be able to actually just chat about the subject you want. We'll do a little bit of research on the subject and chat about it. Begging will only get us that far.
As long as it gets us more views than what you guys got us already.
People viewing this, please prove her wrong.
Please
Begging
help.
works well. Yes, please. So yes, please drop us a mail, Motley Mix, if you want to see what's been happening, what's happening, or if you want to see pictures from the reruns and that. Thank you very much to Ilandi. She keeps our Instagram ticking very, very well and very hard. Thank you very, very much for that. And then also our Facebook, the Motley Mix 2020. The Motley Mix on Facebook, you will get us there. All of the Sunday salad. Also this week's, excuse me, this week's PowerPoint on Cambodia then and now. Big thank you to Ina. She sat the whole day and put it together. If Ilandi gives us another bad one. It's 89.
I've got no idea.
The amount of dollars you're going to give us when we're out outdo you.
That's how many views they've got. That's how many.
Anyway, so on a very short notice, Ina has put together some views, some PowerPoint for us. Thank you very, very, very much, seeing as we couldn't go on about our beers. And we will go on about the beers still, guys. But yeah, it won't be today. Today we've got Phnom Penh, then and now. So it's going to be pretty short, nothing too hectic. As you can see, we've all ended up in the same room today, and we are rather uncomfortable being three guys this close to each other. News for Cambodia at the moment is pretty steep because they've put some more measures in place. We're all teaching from home again because you can't, in a business, including schools, have more than 15 people in a building together at the moment. So we are not able to all go together to teach from school. So that's put us down for another 2 weeks over there. However, we've got tests and everything running, so we're hoping that everything goes well and that we can get this COVID virus kicked over here. I know that the vaccinations are going quite well at the moment. So
a lot of people have been vaccinated.
If you haven't been vaccinated yet, get your vaccination done. Okay, I know people say you'll die in 3 years. Don't worry about it for 3 years at least. You're not going to die from a vaccination. There's too many people. The whole world won't perish. Conspiracy theories like mad? Yes. There seems to be recoveries like mad? Yes. We don't know, but they're also getting a lot of active cases as well, which we need to try and circumvent as that. I have no idea what YVDM means. YVDM.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yolandi, please type it out. We are old men that don't know
secret
things.
codes from Yolandi.
It is this new Instagram lingo that's confusing us here.
Your very day.
Your views don't.
Your views don't matter.
That's
guys,
not very nice.
That's not nice, guys. Please sympathize with us now. Look at how we are treated as guys. And I'm telling you, you like us guys, don't you? We're good guys. Look at these guys. We are We're good guys. We're good guys. So, will you matter? Let's just get that view off there. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want that one.
So, yeah, we don't like that one. So, please help us, show us that our show counts too as guys. But what we want to do today is, yes, as I said, beer, unfortunately, has not brewed because we are on some phenomenal eating plan. And as you can see by my face, has not helped jack shit. Nothing at all. What have we got?
Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding?
Elbow, cough, wash hands. Please. Okay. But without ado, let's take a look. So we're wanting to take a look at Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh today is a very affluent city in Cambodia. Cambodia has naturally, since the beginning of the 80s, had to start building itself back up again since being pretty much left behind in a war-torn genocide country, and has had to, as well as all the other countries, build itself up again as well. So if we pop in there, we will highlight Niels. Don't worry, we're sticking in here with
we're at the edge. We're at the edge.
I think in the past many streams we did, we actually spoke about at the astronomical rate that Cambodia is developing, and they're just really it is a developing country. There's still a lot of issues, but it isn't because of lack of trying. They are really trying their best and developing the country as quick as possible with regards to electricity, sanitation, everything that is needed to operate the city. They just really work hard on it.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at electricity. Girls, keep peddling. Yeah, electricity. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, electricity, modernization, everything. Yeah, I must say, Cambodia has probably been one of the fastest developing countries that we've seen. I mean, if I've spoken to people who've seen Cambodia in the past to what it is currently now, people can say, look, a few years ago, this didn't exist, that didn't exist. And as you can see in these little pictures over here, is just like, you know what, from That was Central Market, and we'll get to this picture on the slide again as well. That was Central Market. There you can see the old cars with the dirt roads and everything compared to the actual modern city. Still retaining Central Market over there. I think it's just got additional. I don't think the extra point. Oh, geez, I'm going there now. Central Market there to what it is now. I think it's just got the additional
Arms
onto it. Yeah. But I mean, if you take a look, the buildings and the skyscrapers going on sides and the tar roads and the building has gone brilliantly. So I must agree with Niels. It's one of your fastest developing. The Royal Palace. Take a look at that. I think the Royal Palace has not changed much as such.
It still looks very
I think that's
similar.
what it was. You take a look, it's got a lot of the bank and the water and everything around it. If you take a look now, and we'll see a few pictures as well of the banks and that previously. Something about bicycles. Bicycle ry, ja moet bicycle ry dat jy kan mooi boude kry. Something, I think it's the Queen song of Fat Bottom Girls being bicycle race. Bicycle. Being translated into Afrikaans, not successfully. But yeah, then the palace, as you can see, was more open compared to the build-up and that.
Yeah, they've really closed it.
But it is still beautiful. And if you take a look, there's nothing. Take a look behind the palace now. If we look over there, look at the city as it has grown. So, I mean, the palace has always been kept as the palace, the royal palace. But the development around the palace, if you look at this picture here, and it's at night compared to this picture here, and then obviously during the day, has been pretty phenomenal. Hotels. Here's our old tel to our new tel. And some of them have still kept the look. If you take a look, the architecture and that is still there. So you still have your Cambodian Asian architecture.
Yeah, I think a lot of the buildings are like very similar to like European in architecture-wise because of the French influence here.
Got a French, yeah, French.
So
influence.
a lot of the places do look more European than they would look like Asian buildings, because Asian buildings have got those funky roofs that look like this and all sorts of things.
But on a lot of the street corners and that, all the buildings and that also have these, still have these rounded balconies and that on it. But this is what, that was the Royal Hotel.
Raffles Le Royal Hotel.
That was, and this is. So not much, I don't know, change in the outside, but definitely, I think Niels was showing us a few photos of the inside the other day, and it looks absolutely spectacular. But still pretty beautiful, such. There we go. That's Central Market is what we were talking about. Central Market over there in the old days, no tarred roads. There were no shopping centers and buildings around them. Absolutely amazing. You can see a lot of unpowered vehicles. You know, it's bicycles and these
forms of transportation.
Yeah, what is it? The bicycle with the seat in it and everything. We'll get to it as well.
Old school taxi.
Yeah, old school.
that was like a traditional form of their rickshaws.
Yeah, like a rickshaw on a bicycle type of thing. But then you can see there's the there was still the gravel roads, and there's a Central Market. And if we take a look at the same type of viewpoint, okay, this is a little bit closer at the moment, but
that's the actual entrance to Central Market.
Yeah. To this market over there, and then once again the sky view over there. And as you can see, around Central Market there is just one road around Central Market, and tarred, and a lot more buildings have popped up around there, and of course business buildings. This being one of the most famous buildings in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, is the Vatinak Tower. It's supposed to look like the dragon or the back of a dragon.
It's the back of the dragon, but you can only see that from up close.
Yeah,
it looks like gills.
Yeah, that thing's architecture is insane. Where they plated the glass, right?
Yeah.
It might be that there's higher buildings now, but for quite a while, the Vatinak was the highest building in Cambodia at 186 meters.
Yes, okay. There we go. Wow.
All I know is it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
That's as much as I know about
Very
the
exclusive
Vatinak.
place. But yeah, if you just take a look at Central Market, just the development of markets. So markets haven't just remained markets; they have developed as markets as well. I mean, underneath this market, there are all, as you can see down here, there are stalls and stalls and stalls and stalls of, oh, you name it. You can go for a toenail cut to actually buying a tuxedo down there.
You can get your glasses done there as well. You can
Yeah.
actually have an eye test done
Eye
and
test.
get glasses made
Everything, I think my quote was about $60.
for your eye test and glasses.
Eye test, not bifocal, multifocal glasses, everything, chuck tints onto it. You can get it all done there. I think it was 40 minutes, sorry. Yeah. Okay, Riverside. Riverside, what it used to be and what it is today, there's an absolute sidewalk. You'll see, and I think the Riverside in this picture is still fairly new as well, except for the selling points in that you have more like little carts and stalls and things in that area. But now you've got a whole garden. It is extremely popular with tourists and that to walk along this riverside. And they've also got what you were saying, flood banks, you were calling them, that are built up there as well along the riverside. But you can see the whole thing has been moved from a riverside to a tourist attraction as such. And it is very, very popular. Unfortunately, now with COVID gaining the world, very few tourists have come. But I mean, when we got here, it was absolutely crawling with tourists.
The riverside is always bustling with
Cambodia,
people.
you know what, subject to popular belief, Cambodia is a very, very popular tourist destination. A, it's very affordable. B, it's beautiful. And C, it is an exemplary way to actually experience a Asian culture as such. And you do get a lot of people. And this whole riverside is usually just crawling with all different tourists and that as well, which they've made. Streets. This is a street. As you can see, the street isn't really properly tarred. None of them are these days. No, I'm kidding. They are tarred these days still as well. But if you take a look at the streets and the buildings, unfortunately, there are still quite a lot of buildings that need a lot of work. But if you take a look at just what the development, I mean, this is what the main road in Phnom Penh looked like. And yes, there was a car or two and a scooter or two, but a lot of it was the
people walking rickshaws,
the bicycle rickshaw, etc. Compared to the modernization of Phnom Penh today, if you take a look, the buildings, the high-rise buildings, the road has got vehicles in it. These vehicles are actually quite small compared to what we see in town these days as well. I mean, taxis are usually a Lexus. This is the smallest pickup truck that I've seen in Phnom Penh for a long time. They usually have these massive pickup trucks that they're using as well. And as you can see in the evening, it's lights. I don't think you can see much lights or anything over there. Not that it's on, but still, there's no neon and
there's no
display.
street lights or anything.
And if you take a look at what it is today, take a look through there, it is a huge cosmopolitan. So what it was and what it is today. And today you have probably a whole stack of
bicycles.
Yeah, but not only bicycles, scooters.
Yeah, motorcycles.
Motos over there.
One thing I would say also about the streets is the traffic is exactly the same.
Yeah, it is.
The traffic is the same between then and now. The traffic is the same.
I just, however, don't think you could walk down the street like this.
No, you can't walk.
Where everyone's walking down the street these days, you can't. As you can see, this is still quiet, but the streets are fairly packed with traffic. Yeah.
And in Cambodia, everything in traffic moves at once.
Yeah.
When you're going around a circle, nobody gives each other a gap. Everybody just
guns
go for it.
Yeah, it's just like everybody for himself. Right, Telio. There we go.
Driving is very stressful.
It is, because you're driving, and not only do you think, hey, hang on a sec, I need to watch the cars from behind, even if you're on the right side of the road. They come from the front on the wrong side of the road. It's like you've got to watch for cars coming down your side of the road on the wrong side, or vehicles.
My usual route to work includes a fair end that I drive, or a fair distance that I drive down a one-way, and people will come up the one-way and they will look at you funny for driving on their side of the road. while you are busy driving down a one-way.
How dare you use the one-way correctly? And don't even try a circle.
Oh no, circles are scary as well.
A circle is a free for freaking all. It's just like get in and then start moving out somehow. It's
The
like,
roundabout.
it's-
For people that don't know what a circle
Yeah.
is, the roundabout.
it's an organized chaos.
And the traffic light is also optional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
If it's red for you and you can make it through, go. That's the rule of traffic in Cambodia. Yeah, see.
Ilandi is
Ilandi is
laughing now.
enjoying it because she knows it is true. Bakeries. Now, I think a lot of the bakeries in Phnom Penh and Cambodia are based on the French side of things and that as well. This is the olden days. You can see the roads are still pretty gravel, and this was what your bakery was. You know what? Baskets of bread, and I don't know what those little efforts over there are. Compared to, you actually have brand name bakeries. You've got a Bayon bakery, which is a very, very popular bakery in Phnom Penh. You get different Bayon bakeries, and then Phnom Penh bakery, and there you get a lot of sweet bread. It's based on. I'm assuming French bread is sweet. I don't know.
Probably.
No
I'm also
idea.
not too sure about that.
But I
Any
think-
French viewers, please inform
Yeah,
us.
if you're French, tell us if your bread is sweet or not. But we do find that, you know, if it's got the French influence or if it's Cambodian influence, your breads are a lot more sweeter over here. Even your loaf of bread is sweeter over here. I think there's a bakery called Aussie Bakery that has less sweet bread, and if you're wanting to compare it to South African, but where you have more of a dry, I don't want to say dry bread, but a less sweet bread in South Africa, you would find that your bread here is more sweet. Although some people still put Nutella on their bread.
Yeah, and but also they tend to use bread as a sweet snack as well, because we've seen people here that enjoy condensed milk on their bread. They'll put condensed milk on it.
Yeah.
This normal ice cream carts that comes down the road, you'll see that they have stacks and stacks of cones, but nobody wants their ice cream on a cone. They'll rather have their ice cream in a hot dog roll.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. So yeah, that's where things come sweeter. Bread is sweeter. As you can see, yes, in modern day time in Phnom Penh, your bakeries are sweeter as well compared to the street bakeries that used to be. You do sometimes find one or two sort of breads and that on sale in the street as well still, but not a whole bakery on the street like this as such. And then fuel stations. This was definitely fuel stations.
Sometimes they still look like that.
Yeah, one or two. If you go out into the provinces and things like that, you would still find a drum with a pump on top of the drum. And what's also chuckling is, if you really get stuck on the road, you find glass cool drink bottles filled with fuel
Yes.
that they sell on the side of the road as well. That have fuel in. I've more than once had my scooter a little lower than what I wanted it to be on its fuel level, and have had to buy a 1 liter cool drink bottle of fuel on the side of the road and put it in there. How clean it is, I don't know, but my scooter's still going. So, yeah. But if you take a look on this side over here, you will see that they do have, I don't know, fuel stations, garages, whatever you call them. They do have proper.
Yeah, they got proper gas stations.
Yeah, it has developed.
Petrol stations.
It's developed from the drum in the street to absolutely proper stations. These are like in South Africa, your one-stop, your, I don't know, what do you call them else?
Sasol,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, but yeah, where it's got your gas station, it's a place to eat. Toilet,
Well, yeah, engine one-stop.
Yeah, your one-stops,
Petroports.
Petroports, things like that. This is a PPT. I don't know. This has got some
Teller.
other name, Teller. And then they do have Caltex.
Good old
For
Caltex.
those in South Africa, yes, you do get Caltex Star Mart as well. And at that Star Mart, if you are thirsty, you can buy brandy, you can buy gin, you can buy whiskey, you can buy beer, you can buy tequila, you can buy vodka, you can buy everything like that at the Star Stop. No cigarettes, guys. And not buy cigarettes at a Star Stop. So I know in South Africa, when you at 11, 12 o'clock at night ran out of cigarettes, you went off to your local garage or fuel station to go and buy a pack of cigarettes. And if you were thirsty, you could get as much as a cool drink. Over here, if you run out of booze and the party is going a little bit quiet, you can go to your local Star Stop and stock up on vodka, gin, whiskey, brandy, you name it, but you can't get cigarettes.
Also, no pies, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you know what? That's something we do miss.
That's
There's
so-
no garage pies, you know.
Nothing like a pie mince pie.
Yeah.
A pie or a sausage roll. Oh, yummy, yum.
You do get total garages here as well as another. There's quite a couple of gas station companies. This is just 3 shown, but
Yeah.
you do get a ton of them.
But they don't have pies and they don't have cigarettes.
Yeah.
But they have all the booze you want. But but anyway, I don't think you find like a garage pie anywhere. Yeah, once again, it's all very sweet. Everything goes on to sweetness as well. So you would find a raisin bun or probably a cinnamon bun or some kind of fruit bun, and even a chocolate bun. And even if it's wrapped with a piece of meat or something, and you find that it's sweet. It doesn't. Yes, sweet. Yum, yum. No,
Yum, yum.
no sweet for you. We're on 28-day die. Shit. But yes, at the garages there are gas stations. As you can see, they've developed from a drum, and in the provinces still some, but on the main roads and in town and that, there's the Star Mart. I don't know if that's maybe the one that used to be close to where we stayed. Then you get the ferry. The ferry, because there's, the river it's the Mekong.
The Mekong and the Tonle
Basak. It doesn't surround, but it goes past Phnom Penh, and so to get from the one side to the other, there aren't really bridges. There's bridges that come across like where we stay. We stay on a island, if you want to call it that way, but you can go across the bridge. Yeah. But to get across the big river to go to Kandal province and one of the other provinces, they use a ferry. And if you can take a look, Niels is pointing out, ferry there was in the olden days was like a sort of an open barge with a boat that sort of pulled it along or tugged it along over there, compared to the modern day ferry that is there now. The only thing that I have with the ferry at the moment, I think they have one, but these days the ferry seems to only have an entrance from the front, so you can actually drive on this way and then you've got to turn around or reverse in, because the ferry goes from one side, then turns around and parks its nose against the other side, and then everyone can go off again. There's another ferry over there. As you can see, there's no opening on the back, it's only on the front as such. And so these ferries go consistently all day long, taking you over. I know there was a teacher at school who used to have to catch the ferry every single day on his little motorcycle to come and teach. Public transport, from the doctor's chair on the bicycle or the dentist's chair on the bicycle.
Say,
And then some very modern motorcycles in those days. As you can see, the roads are pretty much ground there compared to our tar roads and that there these days. And then we have different kinds, what we refer to here in Cambodia and are referred to as the tuk-tuk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do make quite a bit of use of it, Andre. I know, like you take it to work and back
Every day.
Where me and Divan scoot it. We scoot it, but
we're crazy.
You take a tuk-tuk, and I believe it's quite comfortable, actually. You're quite comfortable in these tuk-tuks. Obviously, use the motorbike ones if you're more people. You'll use the smaller Indian version of a tuk-tuk for 3 people or less, and then you'll use your bigger ones with the motorcycle if you're 4 people, for instance.
The ones with the motorcycle are very, very nice. This one at the top, it's called a remorque, actually. The one with the motorcycle, this one up at top here. You do find some of these bicycle rickshaws still, but that's more authentic, and especially around the waterfront. I think they are suffering big time at the moment because of lack of tourists, because the tourists like them. it's a niche for them to be able to take a trip in this bicycle rickshaw at the moment. But these days, your most authentic one is this one, the motorbike that pulls the little trailer or that's hooked onto it. And that's called a remorque. And then you get your actual tuk-tuk, as Niels was saying, that comes from India. You also get a little bit bigger one.
Yeah, it's called the Maxima.
The Maxima. It's got a little door. I take a Maxima to work every day. Because, and then you can't fit 3 people in the back when it's Divan, Niels, and myself.
We fit into a remorque, into a Maxima.
Into a Maxima, but not this one. This one we
That's a bit of a tight squeeze.
That's when I sit in front next to the driver and Niels and Andre sit at the back.
We have driven like that before, but then Andre and me have to keep our feet in the air so that we don't stop the tuk-tuk.
Yeah. And then if we go over a bump, there's always the danger of Divan being shot out of the tuk-tuk.
Yeah, I hold on there to the top of the roof for dear life.
But with the Maxima, we just pile in there, but it is much nicer, and you'll find the tourists, and if you actually want to see out around you, the remorque is much nicer. It is slower, and what's amazing as well is they always drive around with a bottle of water. I thought, like, oh, is it fuel or what? But it's actually a bottle of water with a little pipe, and the pipe has water running over the engine all the time. It's to keep the engine cool. So these remorques, they somewhere along the line on the side of the bike or on the back there, they've got this little bottle of water with this little pipe poised over the engine, and they keep that water running over the engine to keep it cool all the time as well. But
yeah, because it is hot here, so overheating is quite easy. I remember when it got hot in SA, our car would overheat quite easily, and then we had to stop next to the road for like half an hour.
And you can imagine.
So yeah,
you can imagine the toll that these little
bikes
take. It's pulling this huge thing. It wasn't made really to pull it. But I kid you not, I don't know if it's a Suzuki Dream.
It's the Honda Dream.
Honda Dream. It's what they call Kani Duet, can't die. It just goes on and on and on. It pulls everything, goes through everything. There's a yellow one. We don't always see a yellow one.
That one looks cool.
Yeah, usually this is the normal color. It's red with its little roof over there. And trust me, we went with a tuk-tuk like this remorque tuk-tuk, to buy a desk.
This exact desk where we're sitting at now. This exact
desk we're sitting at now. And we were like, how are we going to get it back? Because it was all in one piece. We were buying it from people that were moving. And not a problem to the tuk-tuk driver. Turned the desk upside down, boom, on top of the little roof rack there. And there we roof racked it with this little bike, dragging 3 of us, with a desk and everything. Oh, man. These tuk-tuks really get put through their paces. You must see what they load in there. But yes, these days, very, very popular with tourists. They are still popular. The
dentist chair,
the dentist chair, the rickshaw, the bicycle rickshaw. But as I said, more as a niche and a tourist attraction at the waterfront. But actually, for getting around, everybody still does use these, and we like it because it's open and not as closed as these. Although these are quicker, the little Indian one, and they're very much faster. There's many of them, and it's just more airy, and they're also they're not expensive. I mean,
no, they're not.
It's what you would call the Cambodian Uber. We don't have Uber here. We have an app like Grab. Now, when you would have an Uber app, and if you book an Uber, you can book on Grab as well to go from one place to the other. It tells you what it's going to cost, etc., and you can either pay cash or you can actually pay through the app. There's another app called Pass App as well,
as shown on the tuk-tuk in the picture.
There we go. You can actually see the Pass App sign on the tuk-tuk there. That's the Pass App sign. I don't see a Grab sign anyway.
No,
Grab is a green sign, but that's a Pass App sign. But you book it like you would book an Uber as well. And then they come, and our advice to you is, if you ever come to Cambodia and you are going to make use of a tuk-tuk, to use the app. Because without the app, you can still get a tuk-tuk ride with a remorque or with an Indian tuk-tuk, but they will rip you a new one, because they know if you don't have the app, you will pay for that ride like you will not believe. Where something will cost you $1 to $2, they would happily charge you anything from $3 to $5 for a ride. Yeah. And if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know, they will take you for more than the ride that you're looking for.
And just a friendly tip for people that are here already and people that will be coming here, make sure it's your tuk-tuk before you get in it, please. Don't take someone else's tuk-tuk. That makes that person very unhappy because you cannot cancel it until the driver has dropped off that person. Please, it's happened a couple of times.
Especially when there's more than one person in the same place, and they order a tuk-tuk, and you look and you go grab, and they say yes, it's for grab, and you jump in, and it's actually the guy who's standing just like 2 steps behind you's grab, and off you go in his grab. He's rather, or somebody takes yours. But in general, they are pretty cheap. So it is, I would say, cheaper than a Uber.
Yeah,
I never used
a lot
Uber.
cheaper than a cheap Uber.
Uber is a little bit more expensive. If you switch it from dollars to rands, it's a little bit more expensive than what you would expect. But using in dollars, I mean, from here to school is about $2.50, $3, and from school to back, we spend about $30 a week on tuk-tuk. I think you'd spend a little bit more than that on Uber. But then on Grab, you can also order a vehicle. You can order a car, so you find a Camry or something like that that will come and pick you up. Or you can order a 4x4 SUV, which is usually a Lexus or something to that effect, which will then come and pick you up as well. So there are more than just tuk-tuks. Once again, it's all with the development of the city. Grab is also quite widely known in Asia. It's in Thailand. I think it's in Vietnam.
Yeah, well. I know it's there.
Laos.
Yes, Grab is in Laos as well.
Yeah,
yes.
so Grab is the application, like an Uber application that you use to get traveling. And then the railway system.
I haven't used those yet.
We have That's a train. Okay, so this is the train in the seems to be the older days. They seems to be have been quite a long train and used as a lot of transport. There's people greeting each other on the railroads compared to railways today. This is very much the train that drives all over the place. This one we caught this train when we went to Cape.
Yeah, and it's a engine train with a internal combustion engine, so it isn't the electric train, and that is pretty much a bus on tracks. It isn't really a train. It's more like a tour bus that's on tracks. It runs with a truck engine, so it sounds like a truck. It feels like a truck.
And it stops for all the animals on the track as well.
Yes, it does.
And the trains down here, as you can see, modern city, there's still modern trains and that as well that come in. I don't know where you use it, Cambodia.
They do sometimes transport passengers with it, but generally it's goods trains.
Yeah, goods trains. This one at the top is usually your passenger train. It's also got the seats where you can actually turn them to face each other on the inside. I don't know if the air conditioning was that great in it that day.
No, it wasn't, but we have had previous experiences where we were freezing in that train.
So yeah, it
freezing in Cambodia.
In the train, yeah.
Cold.
Shush.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what did Divan look up? No, we were looking at the weather and it was like still.
Oh, the real feel. It was showing
like
41 degrees Celsius.
So you know what, you guys in South Africa getting cold, enjoy the cold.
Yeah.
Enjoy the cold. Boat race. This is absolutely fantastic. It's a big day in, I think it's around about September, October. There you can see what the, you can't see it that well. It's still not that great over here, but the boat race, the people line the banks. But there you can see what the banks of the river used to look like. They are now built up, what do you call them? Flood banks. Yeah. Flood banks. And it's built up along the river, so it's far, far more built up. You can't just wade into the river from the side over there. And these are the older day boat races. You'll see these long boat races these days. They're very colorful, and they have different teams. And that forms part of what you call the water festival. And probably when we get towards the water festival, we will do a little bit more on the water festival as well. Did we do on the water festival?
We have done one on water festival, I believe.
Yeah, we'll get Ina to put a slideshow together on the water festival as well. Thanks, Ina. You've already been appointed. But yes, the water festival is absolutely, it is a great celebration here in Cambodia. The last one was very, very poorly supported because of COVID and not being able to get into groups and things to that effect. But otherwise, you will find, and as you can see, in the older times, people were teaming up all over the place on the sides of the river. To today, still is. And the only thing is, today you will see there the boats and that are, they still use the same long boats, the same teams. The teams now have different uniforms on, colorful uniforms. As you can see, the boats are beautifully decorated as well. And it is one of the biggest 3-day holidays in Cambodia is the water festival. And then the boat races are one of the biggest parts of those water festivals. Cellular has come a long way in Cambodia as well. Still in the time of
flip phones. We'll call the top one.
That was a Motorola. Both of these are Motorola, but this is a pager, not a beeper.
A pager, before my time.
And you can see the old ads that went up there. And these days, on the sides of the streets, you have these open stores. One of the most famous brands is Oppo. You will see in the top right-hand side, you do get Samsung as well. Apple is also a very popular brand here in Cambodia. Nokia, there's Nokia as well. But I'd say between Samsung and Apple and Oppo.
Yeah, and Redmi and Xiaomi are also very popular brands here.
Yeah. But only because Divan has one. Otherwise, it's Oppo and
I've got a OnePlus.
Oppo and Vivo tends to dominate the market over here because they provide decent, reliable phones, and you get really good quality phones for a lot cheaper than your big brand names actually are.
Yeah. Your Samsung is also, but your Apple in general as well. Everybody. I think it's just an Asian thing that Apple dominates. Huawei was good. I think the only thing that is putting Huawei down at the moment is the fact that
no
Android has now sort of banned Huawei, or what's the word that you want to call it?
Yeah, there's probably a ban
from using Android on Huawei. So Huawei is using their own operating system. Still a good phone, but no one's prepared to take the big chance on it as well. So I think that's also given Oppo the huge gap. But if you take a look in Cambodia, most of your cell phone stores are referred to as Oppo stores, and you can always ask for an Oppo store, and you will find a Oppo cell phone store, and they are wide. And another thing about cell phones and that is data is really cheap here in Cambodia.
Yeah.
You can't... we pay $1 a week for what they call 333 USD, but it's not US dollars. It's some kind of data unit or something like that. And we don't get through those 333 units. And you use it for phoning because you use WhatsApp, Telegram. WhatsApp isn't used that much in Cambodia. Telegram is far stronger in Cambodia. Messenger, and then Facebook. Even shops sell on Facebook. You actually do shopping through Facebook. There's a lot of online shopping that's done in Cambodia. Online shopping, it's strange that you won't almost, if you order early in the morning, you order like a toaster this morning or whatever, and it's strange. Earphones, earbuds, what else have we... Steve ordered a little sandwich toaster the other day. We ordered a bathroom scale.
This exact microphone we're using now, you've ordered via Facebook.
This microphone is ordered via Facebook.
The monitors.
Yeah, everything was purchased, on Facebook or online. And if you don't actually get the delivery by the evening, you're actually like shocked. What do you mean you're only delivering tomorrow? Delivery is usually like, South Africa and many other places, it's like, oh, well, give us 2 to 3 weeks delivery. We'd like, if this is going to take more than a day and a half or 2 days,
I don't want it.
We'll get it somewhere else. So, you can have almost anything delivered. I mean, food is not a problem on delivery.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy a cell phone. You bought yours on delivery, didn't you?
Yeah. Through the same app that we use to usually order food.
Yeah,
on Yum app.
On the food app, we ordered a cell phone, Whammo, from an Oppo store. And the one didn't have, so you said, we'll go and get it to the other one then. So, yeah, and data is really dirt cheap here, which makes access to the internet and the use of cell phones extremely accessible for everybody in Cambodia. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, you have extreme access, and as well as there is Wi-Fi everywhere. You could almost walk into a toilet and get free Wi-Fi.
And it's all uncapped. None of this wimpy 30 minutes Wi-Fi. It's all uncapped. You can have as much as you want whenever you want.
Yeah, it's just, people get Wi-Fi and it's so cheap that they just like, here's the password. You can go and sit in the dentist, and the dentist is like on the wall. There's our Wi-Fi password. Join it and go for it. And it's not a problem. You walk off, you come back the next time again. If you've saved it, it just connects to the dentist Wi-Fi. The bakeries, Bread Talk,
bakeries
they've
have
got
it,
Wi-Fi. Restaurants have it. Some shopping supermarkets have it. Malls have it. It's really, Wi-Fi isn't a problem to get in this country, and it's free as can be and no limits. Data is really cheap. So accessibility to Wi-Fi and data and the use of cell phones for people, rich or poor, young and old, it is very, very easy and accessible. Yeah. Newspapers.
I don't know much about newspapers before my time.
No, yeah. Newspapers, it is strange to see. I see Ina did find a newspaper stand, but we don't really see newspaper stands here. You don't get, as you can see in the older days, it was like full-on newspaper stands. But also take note, even where you get newspaper stands these days, and you do get English newspapers, as you can see, this middle one is the Phnom Penh Post. And you also get another English one, which we frequent. Is it there? Yes, yeah. Sorry. And I believe right down at the bottom there, you can see there's the Phnom Penh Post, and right next to it is the Khmer Times.
I think the Khmer Times has actually stopped their publishing in papers. They will be starting they will be starting again. It was only during the COVID time. But they still do, but they're pretty expensive, as you said as well. I think it's about $1 or so for a newspaper. But the strange thing here as well is you don't get magazines. It's not like you walk into CNA, the Central News Agency, or you walk into the supermarket and there's a whole rack of magazines. You used to like your motorcycle magazine, your ladies magazine, your pregnancy magazine, your gossip magazine, your car magazine, your gun magazine, your farming magazine, your fashion garden magazine, everything. We used to walking into a supermarket and finding magazines for Africa. You don't even find a Khmer magazine here. It's really, really hard to, you used to walk in and find, there's the National Geographic magazine, there's the Time magazine, there's the local gossip magazine. There's no such thing as a magazine here. You can go into a bookstore, you can go into a stationery store, you can go into a supermarket. You will not find magazines here. I don't know why. I think people have said something about copyright or whatever on them, etc., because it is pretty difficult. I know they have a task trying to control copyright. I think they did destroy a whole lot of things the other day. I think I saw that were counterfeit. But thank you. I was looking for that word. But so you do get some print magazines, as Neil said, because of COVID times, people not being out, the Khmer Times. It's all online. You have a Khmer Times online. We actually have it on our Telegram. So everything that updates on the newspaper just updates as a Telegram post as well. So anything that you want is there. You can actually go into the newspaper. You can go and take a look at the newspaper physically in digital print. Not much is done in paper these days. So newspapers are far and few between. You'd find them at the garage or the fuel stations. But you don't easily find. You won't find a news station like this, and you don't find a newspaper like this easily. There's maybe a few lying at the garage or at the market entrance. And as for comic books, you don't find comic books here either. There's no such thing.
As far as comic books go, I've gone into bookshops, and what I've seen there is manga.
Maybe.
Which is Japanese comic books.
Yeah, but it's more like a book, though, not
it's not
a magazine type thing, yeah. Farming doesn't seem to have changed much. As you can see, in the old days, you used to farm with a wall, and now you farm with no, I'm kidding. I don't know what that thing is. It's like a
that is actually, I think that is a planter that it might be.
Yeah.
A plain wooden box that they've got there, and the seeds is probably in there. And as the cattle drags it along, it'll disperse the
It
seeds.
just sort of drops out there at the bottom of the seeds as they go along. And then you're ploughing. It is still very, very much done like this today. You don't see very modern
You don't see tractors
Tractors
and John Deeres and all
and
those
sprayers
things.
and sprinklers. Your watering is very much relied upon that the rains come and the river floods its banks and that the sediment is spread into the fields. The harvesting, as you can see down here, the ladies who've done harvesting, they're very happy. They've got a good harvest. Wish our ladies would look like that when they have to clean up, but no. No, I'm kidding. But this is very much still the modern way of farming over here, and it is still very, very much done manually and by hand. Technology, I don't think, maybe some places, but we have not seen very many places where technology has taken over in the farming areas. I know a lot of the farming areas, they use the water buffalo because it's a rather strong animal to pull the plows and that with. But yeah, farming then and now has not changed a hang of a lot, as you can see. Maybe on a scale it has increased, but no, not as much as such. So there it goes. We had a couple of more photos that we wanted to show you in the past, and these are, we don't have a then and a now, but this is, I think, early 80s.
Yeah, I think around about early 80s.
This is like a family supper. And you know, the nice thing is, and I must say that's something that is nice about Cambodia that you don't find in much of the world, is families are together and they're happy people. You know, you see that little girl with a smile there and everything. They're pretty happy, and the families stick together and they look after each other. It's the riverside that we did show, newsstands, the petrol stand. This is in the streets.
This looks like it's in front of a market of some sort. If you look there on the right,
Russian market type of area, whatever. Also, older times, because you don't have as many trucks in that. And tuk-tuks, there's a lot more foot traffic in that there.
There's the dentist chair taxi again.
There's Central Market again. And if you take a look around Central Market these days, there's one of the wings actually. There's a lot more built up areas around Central Market, shopping areas, and
there's a total garage as well too.
Yeah, I don't think there is one like that around Central.
There's a Shell. I checked there all the way to the right. That's a Shell garage, isn't it?
That looks like a
That does look like a Shell garage.
I haven't seen a Shell here before.
Yeah, I think that might.
I don't know. Maybe you should find one on the beach. And yeah, then there's cigarettes, which is dirt cheap here, but seeing as a family show, not. There's traveling again, also in the older times. There's the bottles I was talking about, where you go along the side of the road, and to this very day, as I said, I've driven down out towards the province or out on the road. There's the cool drink bottles filled up with fuel, and you can stop by and they will fill you up. We've seen that one as well. There's a lot more. There's the actual policeman who stood. You don't get that anymore.
He's got a fire bucket. He stands on his fire bucket and directs the traffic. Because traffic lights only became popular about 10, 15 years ago, maybe a year. Before that, they operated without traffic lights. So they had traffic cops on the intersections directing traffic during heavy flow hours.
There we go. And there you can see there's a lot more of the bicycle rickshaws in those days.
The dentist chairs.
Yeah, and the older buildings.
Oh my.
It's probably on the river. You do get river houses still these days. In actual fact, I think the guys out here where the bridges, they've been told to move. They've been given a week to move. But they have houseboats, or they actually live on boats on their house on the river. It's the kids having fun. There you can see. There's by the river.
Yeah, there's river houses.
There's river houses and that type of thing. Also, it's not as rural. It's far more built up these days. That's the river. I don't know, where's that? The palace or not?
Yeah, that is Cambodiana Hotel, and to the left, what would be later years Himawari. It wasn't Himawari Apartments yet. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like a clubhouse for the.
Good grief. This whole place is built up now. Himawari is probably one of the most status hotels and apartments that you can find. That is really, really long ago, and it is absolutely beautiful with walkways and that there.
I think the river was actually flooding there. Now, if you look across the river, you will see populated areas. It won't be just grasslands.
Yeah.
Over there is. I
rice
think
paddies like you
we
see
almost
there.
live somewhere across there. Yeah. To this very day, people still sleep on their motorcycles. Unfortunately, sometimes it's while they're moving these days. There we go.
Someone reading a newspaper.
Life in general is pretty chilled here as well.
I'm pretty convinced there's some of those super cubs in those photos that is still running today.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Sophia had a Super Cub just last year before she got her new bike. She had a Super Cub.
There's once again the roundish, the old buildings are still the round buildings.
That's close to the Central
There's
Market
Central
again.
Market over there, but there's a lot more built up than what it was. This is what it was.
In this photo here, there's actually traffic lights. Okay.
Sorry, I tried not to go. I tried not to go forward, but you suddenly decided I had to.
Sorry. There's actually traffic lights there now at the moment at this exact intersection.
Yeah. Traffic lights and billboards. I know there's one of those billboards that changes the image on it as well.
And there on the corner, there where that white building is, there's actually an Amazon cafe there, I think, now at the moment. Yeah.
Not that traffic lights have made any difference. There's where your market sales. That's at the markets. They sell bread, fishy bread.
Oh my.
Transport has now got cars with engines in it where it didn't. It had cars with children in the engine spaces. No, I'm kidding. Obviously.
Flintstones.
But that's how they moved everything. There's another bike with a trailer on it. Bikes with trailers are not a strange sight. There we goes on a bicycle rickshaw. As I said, still are around, but very, very much tourist orientated.
No, those are the bright bananas.
You don't cook fruit, George.
Yeah, I think a Honda Dream over here has the same towing capacity as a Toyota Hilux. I think it'll even make a Toyota Hilux blush.
Yes, because what is that?
That is also Hotel Cambodia, and across from that is the Royal Palace, the gardens.
Yeah.
Hotel Cambodia is still going, and it's really FM music. Those days, cell phones weren't around. Smokes were still cheap.
That is inside the trains, actually, the wooden chairs.
That's what it used to look like, though.
Yeah. The modern touring trains is much more luxurious.
Mhm.
There is still carts looking like this. There is still carts. That is if you choose to travel with all your belongings, and if you want to take your motorbike to the province, you usually end up on one of these trains looking like these.
Fortunately, we opted not to take our motorbikes, so we actually got the train. That one that we spoke about earlier on with the motor and that.
It wasn't cold, but at least it had AC. Nowadays, they fitted normal room ACs that you will find your 12,000 BTU. They fitted some of them into the trains, but not very effective cooling. You still feel the heat.
Two little kiddies trying to cross a very busy road. And
That
those
hasn't changed
Those
much.
are the bikes that I'm talking about. They just don't die. They go through anything and everything. There's some more fuel stops along the road. Little boy shame. I think he's selling his birds there.
Yeah, they sell the birds and then they let them go.
Yeah, especially at a certain time of the year, we'll actually get to go with that as well a bit. I think it's, what's the Day of the Dead over here?
Isn't it close to Chumben?
Chumben, yeah, close to Chumben. We'll cover that. There we go.
Someone making a sandwich for someone that's bought it.
Yeah, they actually sell sandwiches. As you can see, that's the little thing that goes over the neck, but that is in past days. Central Market in the old days again, this time with a bit of a tarred road.
Hey, check the Vito!
Still a bit in those days.
buggy. We do not see those cars here. I enjoyed that punch buggy.
Yes.
The train we saw, riverbanks, going on to. You get a lot of tourist boats like that still today.
I wonder where that is. Maybe like somewhere in the provinces, I'm assuming.
I think this was actually
I think
maybe
this is
out
in
to-
days gone by.
yeah. I think maybe out in Stingman Chase way that side they still.
I think this
Okay,
must be
yes.
during the boat races, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that
looks
must be
yeah
From
like
the
a
main thoroughfare.
school took their kids there
There's the boat races. Yeah, just cheering their teams on. There's
at
some
night.
lights, and the whole riverfront is a mass.
Yeah, it's packed to the brim.
Riding his bicycle,
Hoping
Raffles
it's a
Royal
bicycle.
Hotel, Central Market again, streets.
Traffic's still the same.
Except you can't walk in the street anymore. A lot of people still walking around selling items, picking up items like that as well.
Oh my!
Not a
The
good
next
game
one,
to play.
The next one.
I think this was in the older times.
There's beer
Miller,
again.
do we get Miller's here still? I don't know if we get Miller's here.
Yes, you do.
There we go, cooling down. That must have been a,
I think that was
It's
actually
like
a
a-
race
I was
that
about
they
to
did
say,
with
uh,
these
yeah.
Well, that looks quite fun.
these rickshaws.
Yeah.
They had like a rickshaw.
I think you've got to be damn fit to ride those rickshaws. And then,
Lucky strike.
yeah, cigarette stores, not a problem over here.
That is
Ah.
that is the military building before it was actually built to what it is today. That is Russian Federation Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
Back in the
Okay.
day. So yeah,
Oh, that
isn't much.
is very small and rural compared to what.
Compared to what is
if
now.
if you look at the building now, it is just absolutely massive. It is a brilliant piece of architecture as well.
Oh, thank you very much. What is that?
That's a CRT, I'm assuming.
That's a computer, it looks like.
Yeah, it is a screen of a computer. I think that's maybe the early versions of Khmer typing on computer.
Wow.
Wow. School?
Yeah, must be, or maybe just like studying at home.
Yeah.
That looks
I
like
think that's
someone's
just inside a Cambodian house.
Workshop, isn't it?
Yeah,
looks a little bit
Mind you,
like
the
a work.
state of our house looks like that as well.
There's the Royal Palace again.
What is that? Probably is that the
That's probably
That's
with
the
the boat
water,
races,
water
no?
festival again.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like. This generally is what it looks like during a proper water festival.
And they've actually built a big stage now in front of the
Yeah.
Royal Palace as well.
And you know what? Funnily enough, to this very day, you can count money like that in your shop or at a money lending place, and people won't grab it and run.
Share some of the moolah, please.
Seriously, the money places have like the onto the pavement, glass counters, and money in the bottom there.
Mm.
So like, oh, we'll take. It's like, you know what, you'd see a loaf of bread. Yeah, we'll take the loaf of bread. No, we'll take the money and count it out.
Yeah.
You would never do that in South Africa. You wouldn't even have jewelry stores like they do. And yeah, you can have. They're happily counting away there.
Yeah, the stacks is usually the stacks of brand new bills that they have in their counters. There is 100s, 500s, and thousands, and they're all made into packs of a million real, which is about $250.
Why is Yolandi being mean to us?
That is Yolandi.
This, I don't know. Also a market, a rural market. Once again, we are looking at photos gone by, playing games. I'm going to go through them quite quickly. There's an old time. I mean, you won't see Phnom Penh like
Sure.
this anymore.
Where is that?
But what we're looking at, and I think that is also during the boat
During the
race, boat races.
right?
There's the streets and that as well, and the street vendors. You still have a lot of street vendors and that too.
Super fire in the background. Ish.
The streets are very different. You still can't walk on the pavements, but they're definitely more developed.
There's a playground. for
Playground
kids.
there.
There's also maybe during water festival, like just before it gets busy at night.
But there, you can see what this city and this country has developed from a very war-torn city that it was. So if you look at it today, and you look at it, what it's developed from. I mean, some of the buildings you can still, I don't know if I've seen something similar to that in one of the streets
we
before
have
as well,
seen buildings.
which still carry scars. But if you take a look at the development, Cambodia is probably one of the most highly fast developing countries. Okay, yeah, you can see there's, in those days, there was still a lot of the
Dentist chairs.
bicycles, and cops were still able to direct traffic. Now the cops were ignored, so they put robots up or traffic lights up, and they now ignore the traffic lights.
There we go.
There's Hotel Cambodiana. It's still going. It's still probably a very, still is a very prestigious hotel. Except there where you see the bicycle rickshaw is probably now filled with tuk-tuks.
Yes, it is. It is in actual fact.
There we go. Yeah, for every bicycle and a bicycle rickshaw, there is now replaced with motorcycles and tuk-tuks. The roads, sadly, do still flood like this.
Yes.
And it is very, very much to the, I don't want to say the poor drainage system. I would say the fact that people are too far used to putting garbage down the drainage systems, which block the drainage systems and end up having the roads flood. So I don't think that there's not drainage systems. I think it's just that the drainage systems are blocked by public, and that's something that needs to be educated on. Yeah. Technology
inside Central Market.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, you can see that at the top. Yeah, that Central Market.
Yeah,
Look at
over
the
there.
ceiling.
Yeah. Central Market, you can always buy anything and everything. And as you can see there, also the older days, because these days TVs are flat screens and laptops and you name it. But yeah, inside Central Market, yeah, there's where you walk through, and each little stall has something to sell and is competing with each other. That's, I don't know, wrapping up money with leaves.
Taking a picture in front of
Is that the gardens?
That's in front of the Royal Palace, isn't it, right? Like Royal Palace is this side of
Yeah,
there.
that is the stage that was there in front of the Royal Palace. They were busy renovating it now for quite a while. So.
Go transporting of the
Motorcycles.
Motorcycles. I think we've come to the end there.
Yeah.
So, guys and girls, thank you very, very much for watching. A little bit of down memory lane with Phnom Penh in Cambodia. As you can see, Cambodia has actually developed in leaps and bounds compared to what it used to be. And it's not just being developed from an old-time country or an old-time town. It has had to rise up out of the ashes from a very, very bad war that it went through as well. And it is now one of your fastest moving developing countries and cities that you can find. And I do believe in another 10 years' time, we will be astounded to see what Cambodia looks like, and Phnom Penh specifically looks like, compared to what it looks like today.
Mm. And I think in 10 years' time, it's going to look completely different again, with there's buildings going up every single day.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, there's construction going on. It's crazy.
Absolute. Niels, last saying from you, my friend.
Let's leave it like that.
Guys, once again, like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please watch, and when you have watched, go and have supper and put it on watching again. Get those views up.
If you're not busy using your electronic device, put it on, even if you don't have the audio on.
Just leave it. Just let it run.
Don't forget Phnom Penh, then and now. That one you've got to run on. But thank you very much for watching. Please drop us any comments or mails that you would have on the Motley Mix 2020 at gmail.com. There we go. Linda. Always lovely to have you. Cheers, Linda. I've got to get onto the Pepper's Echo a little bit later on as well. We'll be still covering what's happening in Cambodia too. But lovely to see you as well. Guys, take care. Thank you very much. We promise to bring you the beer tasting still as well. Next week, we have the ladies on with the meaning of the hand signals.
And don't do that hand signal.
I have another one. Can you do that? Okay. It's time to go. We've overstayed our time. You can see we're losing it now eventually.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Be good.
Guys,
take care. If you can't be good. There we go. Love from SA. Thank you,
Love
SA. If you can't be good, at least be kind. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.